Hey everyone, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome to Paws Plays News. A little bit of gaming with a little bit of chat about what's going on in the world. Nothing too serious, more just about a wee bit of music, bit of gaming, film, whatever at all. I'm playing Loop Hero alongside it, and I have to build a field kitchen. Let's put it there. Happy days, let's go on an expedition. What's this? I don't know what that means. Oh, it's what's available. Yes, fine. They'll all do. Off we go. So I guess the first thing to start with, I haven't spoken about it last time out, is the Acolyte. So they have started a petition. A petition to save the Acolyte. They started, I think it was something like the 20th of August. Something along those lines. And here we are, what, 8th of September, so nearly 3 weeks on, and they've got 70,000 signatures. Well, it's going on 71,000. It's going on 71,000. But that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And, no harm to anybody who liked the show, because if you liked it, fine. Everything is subjective. You can like things that I don't like. You don't have to like what I like. However, in saying that, it was a bad show. It was a bad show. It was a TV show made for a message, which is just unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. And some people will say, oh well, Star Wars had a message originally anyway. Well, maybe it did. However, in terms of whenever you have a message, how you actually relay that message is very important. And guess what? They've done a bad job of it. They've done a job where they have looked and said, right, who's the bad guy in society? It's men. Let's criticize it. And yeah, the Jedi Order probably have been a metaphor for men in this case. And you've got a female protagonist, because it was always going to be female. It was always going to be female with Leslie Headland, and that's not a bad thing whatsoever. In fact, I think there should be more female protagonists. I think that would be a great thing. Not because they're female, but because, yeah, well, yeah, it is because they're female. They are underrepresented. I think that's fair to say. However, Star Wars is a medium in which they're trying to make money from. And who is their major audience? It's men. Men do tend to want to watch other men, someone they can identify with. And that's harder to do through the lens of a woman. And I'm not talking about filmmaker or TV show executive or creator or anything. I'm just talking about the lead character that you're following. You can identify more with what you are familiar with. And I understand that is one of the reasons why they're trying to diversify and get more women to do different bits and pieces. But they then cannot be shocked and surprised when nobody's really watching. And of course there were people watching. There's no doubt there's people watching. However, we are, what we said, nearly 3 weeks into the petition, and we've got 71,000 people, which some people might say, oh, that's awesome. It's not really, because I would wager that a number of the people who actually did well from the Acolyte, in other words, those YouTubers, they will be signing it. I haven't signed it. But those YouTubers who did well out of it, I'm thinking of Critical Drinker and Nerd Erotic, I wouldn't be surprised if they signed it. I've no knowledge of if they did or not. All I'm saying is that it would make sense because there was money to be made from having the Acolyte on, from it being present on Disney Plus and coming out weekly. They were able to get through probably at least 3 different videos a week of just criticizing it, and fair play to them. You know, I'm a little late to the party, and that's okay. This is not meant to be just an anti-Acolyte video. However, it has been the last 2 occasions. It has been. But yeah, that's all I really want to say about it, is that they've done sign my petition on Change. Is it on Change? What's it on? Can't even remember. Petition. Yeah, I think it is change.com or something like that. And it's gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere. So it's quite embarrassing. It is embarrassing. There's a number of videos that you can watch of people who have signed it and what they think, and it is so sad hearing people say, you know, Disney, you need to do better. This show was not cancelled due to hate. That is a myth. Do not believe that. This show was cancelled because no one was watching it. Disney realized that. Disney realized no one is watching. Disney realized this is pointless. Disney realized ultimately that there is no money to be made here. If this was making money, Disney would have greenlit next season, a following season. They wouldn't have thought twice about it. However, they are, okay, I was going to say they're intelligent people. Not always, because let's be honest, they wouldn't be putting out a lot of these shows if they were intelligent. They have, maybe you enjoy Star Wars as it is now. I do not at all. I look at it and find it quite boring, predictable, formulaic. I don't enjoy it at all. And the fact that it's been cancelled, the Acolyte, I don't think it's a bad thing. They messed with continuity. In my opinion, they messed with continuity. They added Darth Plagueis in an attempt to get people interested. And I know it wasn't as if, Leslie Headland has said that idea was always present and it was out there. And I think part of that was to get people interested from the perspective of she knew what she was making. She knew it was to fulfill a message, and a lot of people would not be on board with that. However, sowing the seeds of Darth Plagueis, people would have been more on board with it. That, I think, was her opinion. And I can see the logic in it. I can certainly see the logic in it. However, I completely disagree with how it was pulled off. Yeah, I know I said already that's all really I want to say about the Acolyte, but that is all I want to say. They've got that change petition. It's going nowhere. I lied earlier. I keep on saying I've said enough. I lied earlier. I said that I think it started on the 20th of August. That's not true. From my memory, it started earlier than that. That's when they got to about 40,000, I think. I could be wrong. I do not want to lie. But from my memory, it was around that date that they got to 20,000, 30,000, something like that, maybe even 40,000. And so they're just not making the progress they expected. They thought this would be a big nudge at Disney of, no, come on, you have to do something, don't give in to the racists, etc., etc., whenever that's not the case at all. I'm sorry, I hate the Acolyte. It's nothing to do with race. It's nothing to do with gender. I would love more female protagonists who are portrayed in an accurate and meaningful way. Ones that are not just, badasses because they are feminine. You do not have a male badass just because he is a male. That's ridiculous. But that seems to be what's taking place with a number of these TV shows, movies nowadays, where they're trying to get representation and diversification in. But it seems as though they're doing it for the sake of doing it. Anyhow, Acolyte done. Acolyte over. I've been placing things on my character, and I haven't even been paying attention whether they're good things. I've been too busy speaking. So defense goes up, evasion goes down. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. It's a level 4. Vampirism, no, that should be good. Evasion, defense. Yeah, get that in there. Perfect, let's go. What's this? Road lantern. Reduces the maximum number of spawning enemies. Yeah, let's put this. Put it up here, just between two things. Maybe. No, I think they were too far apart. In other news, Linkin Park have made their return, which is great. It's really great. They have a new lead singer, someone who has not replaced Chester, not replaced, simply someone who is now taking up the mantle. And it's really interesting because they came out, I think it was in Los Angeles, they came out and they were really great. They said, we have Emily Armstrong, her name is, we have her, and I can't remember word for word what was said, but it was a case of, you guys in the audience are Chester tonight. And I thought that was such an intelligent way of getting across, this lady is not a replacement. She is a new member of the band. And I thought you did a cracking job. I thought you did a sterling job. I mean, my wife listened to it. She had a different opinion, which is fine. But I was impressed. I mean, she sounded at times like she may hurt her voice, because there is that raspiness to some of the songs, and it's hard really to sing those without bringing that raspiness to it. It's interesting because Chris Cornell has come out, I think on more than one occasion, at a Linkin Park concert in the past, before he passed away as well, and he struggled at times. In my opinion, he struggled at times, and I love Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell is one of my favourites of all time. Between Temple of the Dog, Soundgarden, Audioslave, and his first solo album I really enjoyed. Later stuff wasn't awesome. But when he came out and he sang with them, and I assume they had practiced and everything together, it just didn't sound right. It didn't sound right at all. So for Emily to come along and, listening to that concert, I thought it sounded great. Yeah, I admit I have said about the idea of potentially hurting her voice, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know her earlier stuff enough to realize, no, that's how she sings. That is her voice. But I thought you did a cracking job. I'm looking forward to what they come out with in the future. Yeah, awesome. It's lovely having Linkin Park back in general. Their new song, I've only heard about 30 seconds of it. I don't even know the name of it, but it sounded good. Sounded good as far as I was concerned. What's this? The thick walls guard all kinds of riches, gives a random basic resource, so after placing, okay. Got a wee mountain beside you. What's this do? Oh, I can delete stuff, I see. Yeah, I've only listened to a little bit of it, but it sounded great. It sounded awesome, and perfectly honest, music is just, and I know I'm an old man shouting at the clouds, but for me, music is just not as good as it was years ago. It feels like everything is so manufactured nowadays. It feels like you're going to get a new Taylor Swift song every couple of months, and you know, she has got some good music, but it's bubblegum pop, you know. That whole white girl music that it's called. I don't like that it's called that. I don't know why you bring anyone's color of skin into music. My complaint with it would be it's manufactured to sound good, and I know all music nowadays and in the past goes through a studio, and it's made and developed and mixed in order to sound and come across a certain way. However, nowadays they really are such a product. I mean, one of the reasons I'm probably glad that Linkin Park are back is because I think nowadays, where are the bands? Where are the bands? We get so many musicians in quotation marks who are playing no music. They're playing no music at all. I mean, their songs come with music, obviously, and many of the people who contribute are incredibly talented. However, they're not playing music themselves. They are not writing the music themselves. They're not sitting with a guitar or a drum kit and working out a song. Instead, things are written for them and produced for them, and they just come along a couple of days in a booth and sing out a tune. Meh, not for me, man. Not for me. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know if anything else going on. I mean, Deadpool Wolverine still top of the charts in terms of the box office, which is great. It's awesome to see rated R movie doing so well. It makes me want more. Why is this all dotted lines? That's weird. Don't know what a treasury does. What's a treasury do? Random basic resource was something that fits beside it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, it makes me want a rated R blade. I think that would be awesome. A rated R blade. You know, we had Wesley Snipes obviously back in Deadpool Wolverine, and that was cool. But Blade's been awesome forever. Blade's so awesome. It would be incredible to get a rated R Blade with, I think it's Mustafa Ali. I think that's the actor's name. How awesome would it be for Marvel to see the light here and realize, there is money to be made in rated R movies. Clearly, people have a hunger for them. Where they obviously wouldn't have thought that in the past. You know, I'm talking about music being manufactured. Marvel's pretty much the exact same. I mean, they've gone through a session of getting out the message, and obviously they're Disney, so that makes perfect sense. But hopefully Deadpool is the start of them seeing we've got money on our hands here. This can bring in a massive audience. So yeah, fingers crossed. This guy is evading Well, he was evading everything. He's now dead. Yeah, that sort of brings me to where I want to conclude. Anyway, listen, please subscribe, please give us a like, please leave a comment. You can follow me on Twitter as well at PawsGame1, I believe it is. Can't even remember. You'll find me there. I say Twitter on X. I'm never going to get used to that. Anyway, I hope you join me again. If you have anything you want me to talk about in future, leave it in the comments. I'd be really chuffed with that. Anyway, have a nice end of your weekend. See you later.